I want to talk to you about this. I had one of those watching the games last night. I need to talk to Jalen Rose about this moment.
What?
The Rockets went into Charlotte, and they won the game. They did, right in front of Michael Jordan and everything. But something interesting is happening with a gentleman by the name of James Harden. At one point between two games, he missed 22 straight three-pointers. Jalen, you played in the league for 13 years. You know sometimes players go cold, especially jump shooters, especially with the volume that James Harden has. But 22 straight missed threes? We all know what happened in Game 7 against the Warriors last year. Is this something or nothing?
It's something.
It is something.
And it's a few things. One, remember how cute the streak was?
Mm-hmm.
He was scoring 30-plus in 30-plus games. And
Takes
we
a
putting
toll.
a full screen up there about Wilt Chamberlain.
Yup.
And it was record-breaking. And it was what the team needed. Like, I made sure I came to his defense for people who chastised his game and or him for the streak where when it started, they were 10th in the West. And when it finished, they were 4th or 5th in the West. They needed that while players were out. But you know what else happened? He got fatigued.
He did. You could see it.
And so those are contested shots you just showed.
Mm-hmm.
He also missed some wide open ones. I think he'll find a way to get it back, but it'd be interesting to see if they're able to idle down his minutes.
There's got to be that
and
conversation.
give him an opportunity because Mike D'Antoni isn't a coach that practice heavy anyway. So the rest has to come from game minutes.
They're going to make the playoffs, and you really want to dial back his usage and his minutes now so you can dial him up in the playoffs. We always talk about Dirk and Dwayne Wade and their farewell tour and whether or not they're going to retire, but let's just check in on a gentleman by the name of Vince Carter because he's still playing professional basketball. Look at this. Comes in the lane, about to, Jalen Rose. Here's a man over 40 years old, cocking it back like he's going to dunk all over Cat, and then, it's a smooth little, push it in.
The way Vince Carter does that is like normal people brushing their teeth. Like, I got a chance to play a couple of years in Toronto with Vince, and he's arguably the greatest complete athlete that the league has seen. And here's my distinction.
Okay.
I want to make sure I point this out. Some of your favorite dunkers either did it off one leg or off the vertical. Like Dominique was strictly vertical. Nate Robinson, strictly vertical. Won multiple dunk contests. Great highlight reel players. Michael Jordan was fortunate enough to be able to take off from the free throw line, but it'll give you a lot of vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Vince Carter has an amazing vertical, and he's amazing jumping off one leg. Long arms, big hands. And so when he loses a little athleticism, he's still just as athletic playing above the rim as the majority of the players in the game.
Player, yeah. I mean,
How
just be
about
able to
that?
hang like that in the air
How
and
about
adjust. We celebrate Michael Jordan going from right hand to left hand, and that's just as impressive as what Vince Carter did last night.
And it was good that he kicked Karl Anthony Towns out of the way and got an and
Yeah, that's how
that
you
was
got
a
it.
vet move.
Okay, Jalen. Another vet move is you always support players not liking the opposing team. That's something that you really support. And no one in the NBA embodies this more than a gentleman by the name of Russell Westbrook, to the point where he has rules for his teammates about talking to opposing players. And my guy, Steven Adams, gave us a little peek behind the curtain on how he gets things done around the arena. He said, quote, "You do not even give the nicest look to an opposing player. Like Thabo Sefolosha, there was an exception there. Maybe Serge Ibaka. There are certain ones you can kind of go over and maybe hug. I'm still feeling this out. I might be a tad off here or there, so I'm feeling my way out. I look him off, and then I see where Russ is looking, and then I go in for a quick hug. No, I wasn't doing anything, Russ." So he has to sneak little hugs for his friends and former teammates when Russ isn't looking, so Russ doesn't see him fraternizing with the opposing team.
Sports is fun, but it's really competition.
Mm-hmm.
And this idea that people play the same way with the same ferocity against their brother and their best friend as they do against their enemy is a flat out lie. Anybody tells you that, they don't respect you. Because guess what you're not gonna do to your brother? Clothesline him. But guess what you'll do to your worst enemy?
Clothesline him.
That's just how this works. And so for Russ to set a tone, and it comes from the leader. I remember playing against the Miami Heat. My high school teammate, Voshan Leonard, was a member of their team. We walk out at half court to begin the game. Oh, he couldn't look at me. And I loved it I fall down, can help me up, and vice versa, because that's the etiquette that the sport was built upon. And now, that doesn't mean disrespect or demean your opponent.
No.
It just say, while we're competing, it's okay to have a level of disdain and do your best to beat that person.
And then afterwards, break bread.
No doubt.